I could feel I could stay here forever, but I don't think that that's in the cards. You have to step down sometime. And there are a few things that I would want to do outside of the realm of the federal government while I still have the energy and the motivation and the good health to do that. Well, I have not pursued anything specific because the rules of government ethics are clear that you've got to make sure you stick with the job that you're doing and to avoid any conflict of interest. You don't engage in any specific discussions about opportunities after, or else you have to recuse yourself from many of the things you want to do. And I don't want to do that.
Yes. Jordan, I am sure he hasn't had any discussions with anybody about the gigantic payday that's coming afterwards. It's all been on the up and up. He's probably just going to retire to the mountains. We'll never hear from him again.
Yeah, it's amazing how someone without a JD is so well versed in legal terminology. You could sense that he was almost going to give the game away, like, oh, I got this gig with Moderna and it's starting in 3 months, and then it's like, oh wait, hold on a second, I'm not allowed to say that. But it's very clear that, to me at least, that Fauci's about to cash out. He was limited, although he was the highest salaried government bureaucrat for decades. He was limited by all kinds of disclosure rules, and Congress could potentially gather some info. So now that he's we're not retiring, he's moving on to the next phase of his career at the age of 82. And he's going to go ahead and work in the private sector, and I'm sure do some work for major pharmaceutical companies and all of these very profitable enterprises where he's shoveled billions of dollars to over the years, based entirely on whether he likes these people or not, or whether they're down with the government health agenda. It seems that and I'm sure Dr. Bhattacharya can speak to this, but it seemed that when the people I talked to over the last couple of years that dealt with government grants, they all knew that you couldn't cross Fauci, because if you crossed Fauci, he could basically destroy your hospital system. He could destroy your company, your startup. You need to get approval from government health in our weird American healthcare system right now, in this like quasi public private socialist capitalist system. But Fauci was a very important part of it, and I think now he's going to get that other end of the quid pro quo and really cash in on the deal.
Doctor, explain this grant system for people who are way outside of the medical system. They don't understand what this means. What grants, what incentives, what are we talking about here? How does this affect me?
So I'm a professor at a fancy medical school. In order to get tenure at this medical school, I had to win grants from the NIH. I had to write applications. It takes years, and you get rejections, but you win a grant from the NIH. It doesn't just get you money, Jesse. It also gets you status. It allows you to get promoted to tenure. And so when Tony Fauci sits on top of is not just an enormous pile of money, but the capacity to pick winners among scientists. And so when he wades into health policy, or like pandemic policy as it's been, he essentially sends a warning to other people who want tenure at a major medical university. You better toe the line, or else that's a nice career you have, and it'd be terrible if something were nasty to happen to it. And so what we've seen is he's used that power to create an illusion of consensus for lockdowns and all the ridiculous measures that that have just destroyed the lives of so many. And on the basis of this idea that everyone agrees with, all the smart scientists agree with it, but it was never true, Jesse. It was never true that all the scientists agreed. In fact, there were a large number of scientists that had a lot of reservations about but they kept quiet because they were afraid for their careers. And it's because people like Tony Fauci and Francis Collins, his boss, the head of the NIH, used their funding power, their social power, to create this illusion of consensus. They really pulled the wool over the eyes of the American people.
Don't miss Jesse Kelly Breaks History, Che Guevara, the latest episode of a new series available now exclusively for First TV supporters. Visit the First TV app or thefirsttv.com to subscribe and start watching today.